Shabbat Shalom, everyone. We begin tonight on page 12, as we like to do. L'chu neranena, come let us sing, as an invitation for all to do just that. Page 12. L'chu neranena, l'Adonai, Naria, Litzur Yishenu, Nikadma Fanav, Bitoda, Mizmirot, Naria lo yadadadadai, yadadadadadai, 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 Shabbat Shalom to our crowd here tonight. It is in fact Shabbat Nachamu. Nachamu meaning comfort us. During this time of year we are crying out to God for comfort, for support. I know, of course, as your cantor, my favorite place to go to for comfort is our music and our singing when we get to do it together in community. So there's no better time to find comfort and support in one another than on Shabbat, an evening like this. We'll spend some time using melodies that are comforting to us, whether they're because they're melodies we've been singing for a long time, or they're actually addressing this need for support and protection and love. I'm also very happy to have our fearless leader, Ann Berman-Waldorf, helping me lead services this evening while our rabbis are away. The two of us get to play a little bit. And so we will continue this evening with our candle lighting. Our reading will be found on page 3, and I'm honored to invite up Harlan and Janet Greenman.
As these Sabbath candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we, in our day, be among those who kindle light.
And we'll light the candles and do the blessing. Take the light candle and use it to light the other two. You can grab it from the middle.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu, lahadlik ner shel Shabbat.
Thank you. We will continue back in our prayer books on page 16. At the top of the page, Zamru Ladonai. Sing praises to God. Zamru Ladonai Bechinor Bechinor Vekozimra 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 Zamru Ladonai Bechinor Bechinor Vekozimra. We continue on page 20. Yalalalai lecha dodi, yalalalai likra kala, yalalalai b'nei Shabbat nekam elah, shamor v'zachor b'dibur echad, ki ishmi'anu el hamuchad, Adonai echad, u'shmo echad, l'shem otiveret v'litila, yai yalalalai l'chadodi, yalalalai likrakala, yalalalai p'nei Shabbat nekam elah, likrat Shabbat lecho v'nelcha, ki mekor haberacha, merosh mikerem nesucha, sof ma'aseh b'machshava techila, yalalalai l'chadodi, yalalalai likrat kala, yalalalai p'nei Shabbat nekam התעוררי, התעוררי, כי באורך קומי אורי, 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 שיר דברי, כבוד אדוני עלייך נגלה. Shabbat nekamela. Boi v'shalom ateret bala gam besimcha uvsohola toch emuneh am segula boi chala ya da da ya la 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 khadodi ya la 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 likrat khala ya la 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 pnei Shabbat nekamela. Ya la 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 khadodi ya la 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 likrat khala ya la 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 pnei Shabbat nekamela. The indented paragraph on page 22. Tzadik katamor yifrach ke'eres balvanon yizkeh shetulim beveit Adonai bechatzrot Eloheinu Yafrichu od yenuvun b'seva deshenim v'rananim yihu lehagid ki yashar Adonai Suri velo amlatabo. I invite you at this time to say hello to your neighbor, someone you know, someone you don't know, and give a hearty Shabbat Shalom. Love that spirit. With that continued Shabbos spirit, we are on page 26 with Chatzi Kaddish. Yitgadol v'yitkarash shemei rabam ve'amad yivrach yiruteh v'yamlich malchuteh b'chayechon u'v'yamechon u'v'chayedechol beit Yisrael ba'agala u'v'zman kariv v'meru amen. Yehi shmei Rabba mevorach le'olam u'almei yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yipar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh v'yitharar v'yit'aleh v'yithalal shmei dekudasha brichu לעילה מן כל ברכתה ושירתה תושבחתה ונחמתה תאמירם בעלמה וימרו אמן. יאי רי רי יאי רי 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 יאי רי 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 יאי רי רי יאי רי 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 יאי רי רי יאי רי 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 יאי רי 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 יאי רי 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 יאי רי 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 יאי רי 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 יאי רי 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 יאי רי 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 ברכו את אדוני המבורך ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד ברוך אדוני המבורך לעולם ועד יאי רי רי יאי רי 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 יאי רי רי יאי רי רי רי.
A reading from the Book of Blessing. The air is bathwater warm, the sky pale, its intensity drained as you walk together through the prairie up to your shoulder in grasses. At your sides, the loosestrife flames up in violet, the cattails smolder brown. You cannot see the distance at all. You trust the cool mud slosh of the path in the sinking sun. You talk of what is absent in your lives by miracle or chance. One may know something of the other, but neither of you expects that. It is enough to walk together through deep grasses, content with the landscape and the season.
Baruch atah Adonai Ha'ma'ariv Aravi. Page 32. Ahavat olam Beit Yisrael Amcha avta Amcha avta Torah u'mitzvot Chukim u'mishpatim Otanu limadeta Otanu limadeta Al kein Adonai Eloheinu b'shochbeinu V'kumeinu nasiach bechukecha V'nismach b'divrei Toratecha V'mitzvotecha le'olam va'ed Ki hem chayeinu Ve'orech yameinu Uvahem nege yomam v'layla Nege yomam v'layla Ve'ahavatcha al tasir Mimenu le'olamim Baruch atah Adonai Ohev amo Yisrael Ohev amo Yisrael. Please rise for the Shema. Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kivod Malchuto Le'olam Va'ed. You may be seated. Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha B'chol levavcha u'b'chol nafshecha ובחום מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה, אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ושוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתיכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם, אמת.
We continue together responsively on the bottom of page 39. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt, we were delivered. At Sinai, we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. Who is like you, Adonai? Who is like you, Adonai? Yai-dai, yai-dai-dai-dai, and-da-da-da-da-dai, yai-dai-dai-da-dai-dai, yai-da-da-da-dai-dai. Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nedar b'kodesh, nor atehilot o seifele, nor atehilot o seifele. מלכותך ראו בניך בוקי הים לפני משה ומרים. זה אלי ענו ואמרו, אדוני, אדוני, ימלוך turn to our handouts at the top of the page. Shelter us in place, shelter us in peace, shelter us in love, shelter us in love, shelter us in place, shelter us in peace, shelter us in love, shelter us in love. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu, Hashkivenu l'shalom, Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu L'shalom. Shelter us in place. Shelter us in peace. Shelter us in love. Shelter us in love. Shelter us in place. Shelter us in peace. Shelter us in love. Shelter us in love. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu L'shalom. Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu. Hashkivenu L'shalom. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Beini uvein b'nei Yisrael oti le'olam, oti le'olam. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Ki sheishet yamim asa Adonai et hashamayim ve'et haaretz. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. Uvayom hashvi Shabbat vayinafash. Shabbat vayinafash. Shabbat vayinafash. Vishamru b'nei Yisrael et ha-Shabbat la'asot et ha-Shabbat l'dorotam berit olam. I invite you to rise in body and spirit, whichever way you're moved, for our Amidah beginning on page 46. Adonai sifatai tiftach ufi agi tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu v'Elohei avotenu v'imotenu. Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'Konei Hakol, V'Zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'Mivi Gula Lifnei V'neihem, L'man Shemo Be'ahava, Melech Ozer U'Moshia U'Magen, Baruch Atah Adonai, Magen Avraham, Ezrat Sarah, Atah Gibor Le'olam Adonai, מחיי הכל אתה ורב להושיע, מוריד הטל, מחלקל חיים בחסד, בחיי הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מחמוך בעל גבורות, ומיתו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לך החיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש.
We read responsively in the middle of the daf, the page, the handout. We are loved from Mishkan Refuah, Gates of Healing. We are loved by an unending love. We are embraced by arms that find us, even when we are hidden from ourselves.
We are touched by fingers that soothe us, even when we are too proud for soothing. We are counseled by voices that guide us, even when we are too embittered to hear.
We are loved by an unending love. We are supported by hands that uplift us, even in the midst of a fall. We are urged on by eyes that meet us, even when we are too weak for meeting.
We are loved by an unending love, embraced, touched, soothed, and counseled. Ours are arms, the fingers, the voices. Ours are the hands, the eyes, the smiles. We are loved by an unending love. We continue on page 60. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Ki atahu melech adon, lecho hashalom. Ki atahu melech adon, lecho hashalom. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. V'tov be'einecha levarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol eid u'b'chol sha'a b'shlomecha. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav, Yisrael Amcha, Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. Tasim Leolam. We continue silently with the blessings and prayers in our prayer books and in our hearts. bottom of our handout, we have this blessing that we've been singing the past couple of weeks as we've been on this point of the calendar in Jewish time, remembering the destruction of the temple. And yet we are still told that we are captives of hope. Asire tikva. Baruch atah Adonai asher asanu asire tikva. Baruch atah Adonai asher asanu asire tikva. Baruch atah. Baruch atah Adonai asher asanu asire tikva. Baruch atah Adonai asher asanu asire tikva. Blessed are you, God. Blessed are you, God, who made us captives of hope. Oh, captives of hope. Asher asanu asire tikva. Blessed, blessed are you, God. Blessed are you, God, who made us captives of hope. Captives of hope. Asher asanu asire tikva. Baruch atah. Baruch atah Adonai asher asanu asire tikva. Baruch atah Adonai asher asanu asire tikva. At this time, we'll turn to those we are hoping to give healing to through our prayers. To Misha Berach, which is found on page 253, and we'll sing it in a moment. If you are thinking of someone at this time who could use some prayers of healing, I invite you to share their name as my eyes and hand move through the room. Page 253. Mishe Berach Avotenu Mekor HaBracha Leimotenu. May the source of strength who bless the ones before us, help us find the courage to make our lives a blessing, and let us say Amen. Mishe Berach Imotenu Mekor HaBracha Lavotenu. Bless those in need of healing with refuah. As I've brought up a few times already, the Shabbat, this isn't just any Shabbat on the Jewish calendar, but Shabbat Nachamu, the one of our comfort. And not just an inherent comfort, but one we ask for. Nachamu is this cry out that says, comfort us. We're asking for the divine support to do that. And why does this week fall right here on our calendar? Well, we had the observance of Tisha B'Av earlier this week. Some of us here joined me at Bethel to observe that day. It is not a celebration. It is our day of mourning, considered one of the hardest and darkest days on the Jewish calendar because it represents the destruction of both the first and the second temple. And a few other things. I'm getting there, don't you worry. We also remember those we lost in the Holocaust. And even more so now, we remember those who have fought for the freedom of Israel. It's a day where we bring together all this pain, all this hurt that we have as a people. And it's also a day where we observe and recognize that we often feel stuck, a sensation of stuckness. Often in our Psalms and our texts, we might describe this feeling as being lost in the wilderness, Bamidbar, or stuck still in Egypt, Mitzrayim. This feeling of being left behind, this feeling of being forsaken, even. And I feel myself often in this current climate that we have a little stuck, a little left behind, a little bit Bamidbar in the wilderness. The reason why we are told by the rabbis that Tisha B'Av, this destruction of the temples, happened is because we couldn't talk to one another. We were bickering. We couldn't hear each other out. That feels quite familiar in the world that we're living in today. Not only is it represented by the cycle of our calendar, but where we truly are in this moment. I know I'm struggling to talk to some of my own friends, whether it's over politics, the state of Israel, generational divides, or many other things. We live in a world where it's really hard to talk to one another sometimes. Raise of hands, who else has had this feeling of stuckness as of late? Makes me feel better to not be alone. We also feel this tension in our world, and again, especially in Israel and with the Palestinian people. Rabbi Alan Lewis has written the book, This is Real and You Are Completely Unprepared, as a guide through the days of awe, the days that are coming very soon with the Jewish month of Elul and our high holy days, this period of time where we are supposed to be reflecting and doing difficult work. And he says, I think the need to have these things acknowledged, the need for historical affirmation, is so great on both sides that both the Israelis and the Palestinians would rather perish as peoples than give this need up. In fact, I think they both feel that they would perish as peoples, precisely if they did. They would rather die than admit their own complicity in the present situation, because to make such an admission would be to acknowledge the suffering of the other and the legitimacy of the other's complaint. And that might mean that they themselves were wrong, that they were evil, that they were bad. It comes back to the same issue we had with the temple being destroyed. If we are too proud to admit our own faults, that's when we can't hear each other. Rabbi Lewis continues, I wonder how many of us are holding on to very hard some piece of our personal history that's preventing us from moving on with our lives. And then comes Shabbat Nachamu. This is the turning point. This is where we are trying to become unstuck once again. Nachamu itself, the text that we will sing in just a moment on the other side of our handouts, says, it comes from the Haftarah portion of this week. These lines are based on Isaiah 40, verses 1 through 3. And this particular version interpretation says, "Comfort us in our wilderness. Comfort us as we struggle to take care of one another." Comfort isn't easy. Sometimes nostalgia can feel very easy and comforting. But to truly comfort, to truly find relief when we are in the wilderness, when we feel lost, when we are stuck, is hard work. And this Shabbat is that first step in our calendar towards teshuvah, some of the hardest work any of us ever have to do. This turning back, this admission of maybe some of the places where we have fallen short and maybe where we were not hearing one another. Repenting is hard. Getting unstuck is hard. And admitting our mistakes is really hard. But it becomes a lot easier when we do it together. It's not nachami, it is not comfort me, but rather comfort us. Because we don't get to that other side unless we do it all together, unless we bring our whole peoplehood together. So I invite you to join me in some singing of this text that's comforted the Jewish people for hundreds and thousands of years. Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami Yomar Eloheihem, Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami Yomar Eloheihem, Nachamu, 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 Ami Yomar Eloheihem, Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami Yomar Eloheihem. Comfort us in our wilderness. Comfort us as we struggle to take care of one another. Comfort us in our wilderness. Comfort us as we struggle with this world. Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami Omar Eloheihem, Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami Omar Eloheihem. Comfort us in our wilderness. Comfort us as we struggle to take care of one another. Comfort us in our wilderness. Comfort us as we struggle with this world. Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami Yomar Eloheihem, Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami Yomar Eloheihem. And as we build a better world, not alone, together, we turn to Aleinu on page 282. Aleinu l'shabeach l'adon hakol, לתת גדולה ליוצא בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם, ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. 287. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד ושמו echad. You may be seated.
We continue on page 288. When I die, give what's left of me away to children and old men that wait to die. And if you need to cry, cry for your brother walking the street beside you. And when you need me, put your arms around anyone and give them what you need to give me. I want to leave you something better than words or sounds. Look for me in the people I've known or loved, and if you cannot give me away, at least let me live in your eyes and not in your mind. You can love me best by letting hands touch hands and by letting go of children that need to be free. Love doesn't die, people do. So when all that's left of me is love, give me away.
Those who have passed. Burton Becker, former father-in-law of Cindy Becker, has not yet been buried, but we remember this loss. In Shloshim, remember Donna Zeller, wife of Michael, mother of Jason and Matthew. I invite you to rise as I say the name of your loved one. Anita Axelrod, Henrietta Batch, Jenny Barbarask, Sylvia Berger, Michael Brodsky, Morris Beyer, Oscar Cantor, Molly Serkis, Richard Cohn, Louis E. Consovi, Celia Diamond, Linda Dolnick, Milton Etroff, B. Edelson, Murray Eisenberg, Myron Feitzman, Oscar Goldfarb, Donald Greenman, Norma Grossbard, Ruth Jacobs, Tibor Klein, Beatrice Letterman, Joanna Laura Leese, Harry Lesney, Esther Molly Liebhaber, Susan Millman, Myron Moss, Eugene Nelman, Herman Ostrovy, Gertrude Rothman, Fanny Sachs, Joyce Safran, Jerome Schneider, Leo Schwartz, Henry Seltzer, Max Siegel, Murray Silverstein, Carol Simpson, Dorothy Spar, Henry Thune, Seymour Wexler. All these names and many more we hold in our hearts as we turn to page 294. We rise for the mourner's Kaddish.
Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei rabbah, v'alma divarach yotei v'yamlich malchutei, b'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uv'izman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei rabbah mivarach le'alam olmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar, v'yitramam v'yitnaseh, v'yittadar v'yittalev v'yittalal shemei dekudesha b'richu, le'ela min kol berachata v'shirata, tush bechata v'nechemata, da'amiran bi'alma v'imru amen. Yehi Shlomo Rabba Min Shemaya, V'chayim Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimromav, Uya Aseh Shalom, Aleinu V'al Kol Yisrael, V'imru Amen. May the one who creates harmony on high, being priest to us, to all the world, and to all Israel. Together we say, Amen. Please be seated. I'm going to ask Josh Elkis to join us for the ever popular announcements.
It's been wonderful to be together tonight for Shabbat. We hope this opportunity to spiritually connect, learn, and celebrate with your Beth Chaim community was meaningful to you. My name is Josh Elkis, and I'm here tonight representing the Temple Board. After our closing benediction, please follow the clergy and me to the rear of the sanctuary for Kiddush and Motzi, followed by an Unik Shabbat in the social hall. Torah study and bagels is tomorrow morning at 8:45 in the chapel and on Zoom. On Tuesday at 10 a.m., join us as we host PFLAG Robbinsville's Drag Queen Story Hour. Join us next Friday in the Beth Chaim courtyard outside the rotunda for Tu B'Shavat under the stars. Please note that this service is in person only and there will be no virtual option. We have many exciting events on our calendar, so keep checking your Beth Chaim emails and our website for the information on all of our programs and more. Shabbat Shalom.
Our Jewish calendar, much like the flow of life, happy, sad, illness, health, illness. This week as Shabbat Nachamu, we stand here, we ask God to show compassion on us as we struggle to bring ourselves to a new year. And next Shabbat, we celebrate Tu B'Av, which is Israeli Valentine's Day, the day of love. So I invite you to join us outside next Friday night. Our prayers for rain should be diminished this week as we celebrate the love we have for each other and for our people. We're going to continue with our closing song, which is on our daf, our sheet. I don't know what it is. We return, Hashivim.
A little repeat after me action if you don't remember this one from this time last year. We return. We return. We return, return again. That part's together. We return. We return. We return, return again and again to love, to love. We return again to love. Go to Hashivenu. Hashivenu Adonai Elecha v'nashuva Chadesh Yameinu Kikerem We return. We return. We return, return again and again to you, to you, to you. We return again to you. We'll rise for our closing benediction. As close to each other as you are comfortable to do so. Yivarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha.
May God bless us and keep us.
Ya'er Adonai panav elecha v'chuneka.
May God's light shine and may God be gracious to us.
Yisa Adonai panav elecha ve'asem lecha shalom.
And on this Shabbat Nachamu, where we ask God to comfort us, may we feel God's presence always, and may we find peace.
Amen. Shabbat shalom.